Everything we learned from Arsenal 2, Manchester United 0. That was a very, very dry game of football for a large part of it. I think Man United came to make things a little bit difficult. And actually, it's a ringing endorsement for where Arsenal are. Because a few years ago, these guys were neck and neck. Ultimately, Man United in Premier League history have always been the dominant force, even going to Arsenal. And now you always felt that Man United couldn't lay a glove on Arsenal in this game, really. Didn't create any chances. I felt that Højlund, a little bit lightweight. Amrin was thinking about maybe other games coming up for Manchester United. Rotated Amad Diallo, rotated Marcus Rashford. I'm not entirely sure about that strategy. Arsenal versus Manchester United is arguably the second biggest game for Manchester United every single season behind Liverpool. And on some level, I thought United were a little bit flat, a little bit poor. Mason Mount comes in and you feel, is that enough to get you a win? It felt like Manchester United were trying to get a draw against Arsenal and maybe frustrate Arsenal a little bit and hit Arsenal on the counter-attack. And Ruben Amorim is more than entitled to do that. He's just come in. He's a brand new manager. It's not really his squad. And it's a really tough place to go. Arsenal put so many goals past sides. 13 in the last week. That's now 15 in about 10 days of football. It's unbelievable. And they've been a side that have turned the corner massively with the likes of Odegaard coming back. But it wasn't easy. It certainly wasn't easy because obviously Gabriel didn't start the game. Zinchenko at left back as well for Calafiori. So there's a little bit of rotation on both sides. But Arsenal, for me, really did show a level of quality above Manchester United. They were able to control the game at points. Manchester United are always going to have players that can knock the ball side to side, but it's that kind of power through midfield. And Declan Rice, for me, one of the most improved players since the Arsenal slump, which must be about 8 weeks ago now, just before that international break, that kind of a couple of draws. You think maybe Brighton, the Man City period of time as well, Bournemouth. Lots of criticism for Declan Rice, a lack of physicality, a lack of belief in his own ideas, it felt. And I think in this game, he looked like a Vieira type, a Rolls Royce, powering through midfield, linking up play to a very, very high level as well. And Declan Rice has to get a shout out for me because he was absolutely exceptional. And he is a world-class midfielder of what he does. He really is. The physicality that he can bring to this Arsenal midfield is a whole different dynamic. And when Arteta is just saying to these lads, obviously, look, firstly, the goals have come from set pieces. But when Arteta is saying, with open play, be expressionistic, open your body, run with the ball, drive with the ball. This Arsenal side really are, like, they're a joy to watch. They really are. They're very cinematic. They're very adventurous. We just haven't seen that. And I was critical about Arsenal. I was a few months ago because I think they were stiff. They were a bit dry. And they've risen to the occasion here. They haven't scored any goals from basically open play against Manchester United. I do feel that Manchester United were a little bit defensive, a little bit sluggish, and just trying to hold on a little bit. We're going to break down the goals. Obviously, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And obviously, a little bit about the title race because Liverpool dropped points. And it's now down to 7. You look at what Chelsea are doing, by the way. Chelsea and Arsenal, 7 points. You feel that they could both take points off Liverpool as well. And it could become a 3-horse race. I'm not going to talk about Man City in this video, of course, because they're miles off of it. But ultimately, that will be a video that I have to do eventually if Liverpool drop any more points in the next couple of weeks. The Everton result is huge as well, which will come up on the weekend. Let's just talk about the 2 goals. I mean, they are almost identical from either side. Declan Rice gets the first one. Jurrien Timber comes in. Declan Rice's set-piece delivery is absolutely an underrated facet of his game. He has got this kind of whip and venom to all the crossing that he does. He puts his foot through it as well. It's almost like a Gerrard kind of delivery, as opposed to maybe Beckham that had more curl. It's more Steven Gerrard's kind of crossing ability. It was absolutely amazing. Jurrien Timber. I'm a huge fan of Jurrien Timber. I'm probably the biggest fan outside of the Arsenal conglomerate. I'm probably the biggest Jurrien Timber fan going. He's so technically gifted, so athletic, such a smart footballer. He is just an Arsenal footballer, isn't he? He's got that kind of physicality of Lauren at right back. He's got the kind of the pure defensive skill of Ashley Cole, but he's got a little bit of that kind of midfielder swagger that maybe like a Ray Parder vibe, or Emmanuel Petit, like, one of these midfielders with a little bit of quality in midfield. Timber's got that when he steps into midfield, when he's driving down the line. He links up play. He never loses possession. Absolutely fantastic. And what a crucial goal in the 54th minute, second half. Absolutely huge. Manchester United really should be doing a little bit better, I think. I don't know if it's whether Onana, one of the centre-backs. They've got a lot of tall lads in that side, even Højlund. and it felt that physically Arsenal dominated Manchester United today. Again, you can't be too critical because it's Amram's first couple of weeks, and they have improved. The Everton result was good. I talked about it on this channel. But you feel that Arsenal are now in this kind of, they are a season or two ahead of Manchester United. Too many players that Man United could live with in terms of physical dominance and quality on the ball to get chances to whip it into the box and Arsenal take it. And then William Saliba, who I thought was absolutely fantastic. It was a big clean sheet for Arsenal. We talk about the goals going forward for Arsenal in the last few weeks. Everyone's chipping in with goals. Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, Havertz, Trossard, Saka, Rice, they're all scoring goals. And you do think about, what is Man City's Achilles heel at the moment. If Haaland doesn't score, the side really shuts down. That's probably been proved a little bit wrong tonight against Nottingham Forest. But similar with Liverpool, I think their attacking output is very, very Salah dominated. If he doesn't do what he does against Newcastle United, there's no chance they win that game or even draw the game. Because Darwin Núñez misses chances. Cody Gakpo can be a little bit, hit and miss a little bit. But with Arsenal, whatever you say about them, if they're good enough to win the Premier League title or not, they've got a group and a collective of players that are all operating at 7s and 8s out of 10s, and they're all chipping in with goals. And I think that's very important. And it could be a massive facet in the title race. They're a little bit less reliant on one player like a Rodri, like a Mohamed Salah. But you have to let me know what you think in the comments down below. Saka is obviously one of those players they are reliant on. He whips that ball in. It's an unbelievable cross. It really is. And again, Saliba scores the second goal, which puts the final nail into the Manchester United coffin. Again, the quality. I mean, Saka and Declan Rice are completely different footballers, different feet, different physical, kind of levels of presence of how they boot the ball. But they both have this kind of whip and venom on it, and they were trying to get the ball right under the crossbar. And it obviously is worked on in training ground, of course it is, but just to see it that consistent every week, it is scary. I don't know how you defend against it. You feel that in modern football, everyone's obsessed with playing out from the back. The kind of fundamentals of defending maybe have kind of gone out the window because people are focused on one thing versus the other. And the old school kind of defensive quality of being able to clear a ball as dangerous as that goes out the window. And you feel that Arsenal are manipulating that a little bit to their advantage, and they're training to score more and more goals from set pieces. It's not the perfect solution, but against Manchester United never felt that they were able to do that in return. That gives Arsenal a massive advantage throughout the remainder of the season, particularly against Big Six opposition, in my opinion. Where do Arsenal go from here? Look, Arsenal have got a load of players that are all at a very, very high level. I think the Gabriel injury could be a concern if he's not back in time for the weekend. But the midfield today for Arsenal, I look at Liverpool's midfield, that's a title-winning midfield. I look at Arsenal's midfield, that is a title-winning midfield. We can debate the keeper, we can debate the centre-backs, the strikers, whatever. Kai Havertz, so you'd argue Salah, is a better front three kind of coming out of Liverpool than Arsenal at the moment. For sure, you could argue that. But the midfields are comparable, in my opinion. Partey was fantastic. Declan Rice was fantastic. Liverpool would take Declan Rice, in my opinion, over McAllister, I think. I think that's fair to say. But Martin Odegaard is the one. Martin Odegaard, unbelievable, yes, again, today. Linking up play, being involved. It is an Arsenal side that is beginning to flourish. Whether it's enough, because Liverpool can just maintain this lead and win the Premier League title, of course they can. But I've got this feeling that Arsenal are just going to love to be in that second position, see what's happening from a little bit further back, and be able to create that kind of run where they win 9, 10, 11 games in a row. And this kind of winning against Manchester United, difficult in yesteryear. And now it was made very, very comfortable from two unbelievable crosses and good control of the game, particularly in the final 20 minutes. I think Anthony had a chance. Mason Mount had a chance that he scuffed as well. Hoyland holding up play a little bit. It was all a little bit scrappy for Manchester United. Don't think anyone was expecting them to beat Arsenal, but it is still a massive eye-opening moment to say, actually, they are a little bit off of Arsenal, aren't they? They really are in terms of controlling a game, in terms of game plan and kind of sticking to a game plan, and is that game plan effective? I don't know if the three works today, really, without proper fullbacks. I don't know about Malacia and Dalot. Not bad fullbacks, not bad performances, particularly for Malacia, who I've not seen in about 50 years. But is that enough to win games of football against Arsenal like this when they got the extra man in midfield? You've put that extra man in defence to have a three with Maguire, De Ligt, Mazraoui. I'm not entirely sure. You have to let me know what you think in the comments down below if you made it this far. Thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you very, very soon.